I do want to ask, because you've also been very public about sort of your uh, how upset you are with the way Chapter 11 is going forward. You've mentioned that, like for instance, FTX US, you consider to still be fully liquid and solvent, and could
Yeah.
turn on withdrawals tomorrow if they wanted to.
Yep.
I'd like to get your overall assessment of how the current leadership is prosecuting this, but also I am curious too. I mean, you've said multiple times that you really did not have a handle of the financials of the company and what money was where and who owned what. So, assuming that magically you got implemented back into CEO as tomorrow, do you think you would be better at trying to unwind the company than John Ray is, or I mean, how would you be better at this than a trained and experienced team of executives that specialize in this very thing?
I totally hear you. And so giving a few, and there are a few things going on there. The first is, how are things going today? I mean, I don't know for sure, and obviously maybe there are great things going on that I'm not seeing. Like that's obviously a possibility. Um, I can tell you from my perspective, from what I've seen, um, I've heard from many people that there are a lot of really great people, who are working on the Chapter 11 team right now, who are putting in long hours to try as hard as they can to do what's right here, and I'm incredibly grateful for that and for them, and for them taking on this responsibility here. I think it's, uh, you know, uh, yeah, it's just like, think that's great from every perspective. They also have a really hard job, because they're, inheriting a company which is a really complex company, it's a global company, and, trying in short order, to understand, all of it and piece it together. And they're doing that, as far as I can tell, without any of the help or support of any of the people, who knew how the company worked. Um, and that's not just a hard challenge, that's an impossible challenge. I don't think that needs to be the challenge. I think there are ways to work constructively together, um, where, I've seen statements made in filings of the form like, XYZ didn't exist, where it absolutely did exist. I would have
Such as
known how
what?
to get it. So, I mean, you look at things like, a record of the top 50 customers. That would have taken me, 90 seconds to get. That's not, like, there are a number of things that have appeared in filings, are, data requests that are, just not hard to piece together from the context of, like, a team that knows that company well. But I think if you're missing that context, it's incredibly hard. And if you're missing that context and shut down all servers and data, that sort of like ties your hands behind your back further. And so I think this is like certainly not the easiest version of that could have been done. And I think that has frankly been detrimental.
Mhm.
And I think that's led to a much clunkier process than needed to be. And I don't think this is the fault of most of the people who are a part of it, because they got thrust into this. Um, the Chapter 11 filing, I think, was problematic from a number of perspectives in the first place. And I was uh, done on an unreasonable time scale, unreasonably fast. Um, and I bear some responsibility for that, absolutely. Um,
So who
I
actually? Sorry to interrupt, but